Welcome to RVing in New England, the nation's only forum that puts you on stage with some of the biggest names in the RV industry. And now your hosts, John DePietro and Bob Zagami.
Well,
hey, everybody.
That doesn't look like John DePietro.
No. He's out there spreading the news out in New York City somewhere.
Actually, you're better looking than John DePietro.
I kind of thought so.
Yeah. Based on public opinion polls, absolutely.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Wow, look, we got someone already from Mass Good Sam. Hello from PEI.
That's Joe Cavosa and Rhonda Cavosa. But Rhonda comes in under her own name, but that's Joe. They're I don't know, Joe, are you with the group that's up at Prince Edward Island, Frank Palange and that group? Yeah, you are up there. I saw your truck in your trailer up there the other day. So Bernie, welcome.
Yes, sir.
So last week you sat in my chair. This week you sit in John's chair.
That's right. Yeah. So it's really nice to be here again with you guys, and whether it's a little easier with you, obviously, because we actually get along. I don't have to pick a fight with you or anything like that. So, but we can always make fun of John while he's not here. That's always fun.
He's probably listening on the car on the way back from New York.
He's swearing at me, right? Yes. I can hear my ears ringing.
saying, what the hell's Bernie doing in my chair?
What's he doing over there?
I actually had made up a kind of a nice slide, and now I can't find it. Let's start first with local news.
Okay.
Our industry publication, one of our industry trade publications, did their, shall we say, their May issue. Let me see here. It is the July issue, and they had a section on RV veterans celebrating industry expertise and experience. And one of our good friends is featured in the article, Randy Murray, who's the director of orientation at Pete's RV Center. And he's on our NERV technical team, does seminars at the Boston show and elsewhere, has his own YouTube channel. So congratulations to Randy on his being included with the best of the RV veterans out there.
That's fantastic. And he was just on the Camper Report show, right? So
Yep. Just had him on the Camper Report show. Yeah. They did
fantastic.
That. He gets around. He travels. Whenever I call him, I don't know where he's going to be. He's all over the place. He's usually in a hotel somewhere. You can do that.
No, I can't click on these comments here, but do you want to say hi to some of these folks, Bob?
Yeah. That's right. You can't click. I can. Yeah.
You can. Yeah. You didn't give me that kind of. I'm used to being in control.
He's up in PEI. Jim Convoy, New England RV Roof. He's getting busy again. And interesting.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk about bad weather tonight, and he's currently working on a Winnebago Vista motorhome that had a bad event with. I'm not sure if it was a hurricane or the shades of a. I think he said it was a microburst that took some of the roof off, and that's what's in one of the bays right now. Dante's here. Yeah, good to see you, Dante.
Welcome, Dante.
Jim Roy. No, he's pretty early tonight. That's good. And
yeah,
Don Hawes greeting. Yeah, you aren't that late, Don. So I think what do we give him, Bernie? Maybe give him 5 minutes before they have to talk.
Yeah, she was at 7:06, so that's kind of right on the cusp there. Yeah. At 7:07, all heck breaks loose.
From Athens, Texas. Yeah, and he's done a lot of work down there at the NRVTA, and they're really kicking off now their veterans programs. It took them 3 years because of the rules and regulations down in Texas and working with the Texas Veterans Commission, but they are now authorized to do technician training. I think RV inspectors, but certainly technician training for veterans, and they can get get recompensated from the Veterans Association. So that's a big hit. And the other thing,
that's wonderful for the industry too.
Well, the other thing that's good with that program, it's good for veterans all over the country. So they have these compatible programs with other state veterans associations. So Don can probably explain it better than I can, but that's what they do. And that's going to be a big plus for veterans getting out of the service or who are already out of the service for a few years that may be having some difficulty looking for jobs and getting placed. So we're really glad to
come to work for the RV industry. We'll be happy to take you for sure.
That's exactly right. Plenty of people do it. Don says yes, technicians and inspectors. I understand. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Frank says this is the best show I've ever watched without him.
Woohoo! Thank you, Frank.
Yeah, damn, we haven't even got warmed up yet, Frank.
I know it. I haven't even abused them that much yet.
It is. Don't get a big head, Bernie.
Thank you, Frank. When I meet you someday, we'll have a beer together.
To buy you a new hat size. And Joe wants to get in on that one too.
Heck yeah. Thank you, Joe.
I get kind of another little feature I want to throw in tonight, which we haven't really done before.
Yeah.
But I thought, we have so much news that goes back and forth daily, especially John and I, when we're trying to figure out what we're going to do with Camp Report Show or what we're going to do here. But there were two items that we actually did on Camp Report Show this week, which we taped on Monday, that really caught my eye. One of them is Coachman has introduced a new product called the Epic, Catalina Epic. And I'm not going to show you the video because it's 14 minutes long.
Okay.
Look at the back of that unit and then look at it close up.
Look at those windows. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, what they've done is they put patio doors. So it's almost like a fifth wheel that has either a garage or a backwood living room that goes out to a deck that folds down. They've taken the concept and put it in the travel trailer. So
what is that? A projection TV?
Yeah, this is part of the program. Instead of a TV on the walls, and I'll show you the other wall in a minute, the projector projects across the living room area to a screen that drops down in between the day-night shade. So you can obviously project your TV there rather than having a TV. But what that means also is if you're working back there off the couch, you hook up your computer to that and you got this gigantic monitor across from you. And this is what it looks like when you're sitting there at the campground. The deck doesn't fold up or down. It's part of the trailer. And you can see the sliding door there, which is going to be a window in time, but they wanted to get this thing out, at least on the prototype stage. And so those two side, what's going to be windows is now patio doors, which this was a video done by, I want to say Big Truck and Big RV. And I thought I had the logo, but I don't. But they did the video, and the person doing the video said, you can glue the patio door so that somebody doesn't fall out the side or something. So I'm not sure if Coachman enjoyed that comment, but it is a concern as to how they're going to do it. So I think they got this prototype ready for the dealer open house. And by the time they get the dealer open house, those patio doors are going to be large windows. And the other concern that I would have is that the weight of a window over the wheels there could be pretty heavy. So I think we got a little bit more work to do.
Well, they got leveling jacks there, so they're treating it a little bit more, but that jacks could be a little bit further back to handle that weight. The other thing looks like I'm seeing is steel reinforcement around that deck area and they would definitely need something to sturdy that up, because that's a lot of open area without truss work in those walls. So I would imagine that's a good idea.
And for some reason we are locked up on our pictures.
You got too much stuff going on there. Yeah, blew it up.
Chrome was having problems in terms of loading more information up there, but this is not. I'm gonna have to refresh. If I lose you guys, you're gonna have to call back, dial back in, or I don't want to kill the show, but I had a lot more and I don't.
I'm wondering if you didn't shut your video off. Yeah. Oh, it's alive. He's gone. Ooh, you better learn how to face it. He's gone. He's gone. He's gone. Ooh, never to replace it. He was gone. Ooh,
I have no. Hey, I have no clue as to what took place. What I was trying to show you was this one here that had that screen door at the back. But let's not play with that one anymore. We may.
You broke the computer with that picture. Yeah.
That must be DePietro. He must have pulled the plug somewhere else. So the other thing that was very interesting was, we've all seen the Tesla Cybertruck. Well, there's a company out in California that is building what they call the Cyber Trailer. All we have right now are sketches, and that's going to hook up to the Tesla Cybertruck.
Wow. Does it come with the dry ice to give it that nice effect?
No. And it's from a company called Leisure Living.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Right now they build like $250,000 fifth wheels. So this is still on paper, but when it comes out, it's going to be about $160,000.
Wow!
But it has a dual energy system. It's packed with technology.
Sure.
It's got as much solar power as a house. So when they say you can take your house with you and take it down the road, that this is what you can do with it. Yeah, it's
fantastic.
Kind of crazy. So
that's
we're
a unique
talk
piece
tonight.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? You want to do weather first, or do RVs first?
Let's do the weather.
Okay.
It's hot.
It is hot. We want to talk a little bit about bad weather camping. We don't normally talk about that, Bernie, but this year it looks like the whole world is upside down and backwards as far as what the weather is. I saw
certain areas that are usually cooler this time of year are getting whacked with heat, and vice versa. It's been like that the last couple of years. There's definitely some inversion going on, and the different systems out in the Pacific that cause that, with the Great Bambino or whatever those different currents are out there.
El Nino and
El Nino,
that other stuff. Hey, guess what I forgot?
Babe Ruth, yeah.
Oh, can't do the show without sponsors, and our sponsor is Seacoast RV up in Saco, Maine, creating family fun on Route 1, #1 crop park model dealer in the country, #1 elevation park model dealer in the country, largest Winnebago towables and motorhome, small motorhome dealer in the state of Maine. Kenny and Amanda Blow, we appreciate their sponsorship, so we make sure we get them in there, Bernie.
So you can tell this is an unscripted, kind of on the cuff kind of show, but we're having some fun doing it anyhow. And so thankful for all those wonderful guests that are kind of keeping an eye on us and giving us some comments. Frank was saying it's so hot where he is that they're losing power. So isn't he up in like PEI?
Yeah, let's see what they've got to say first. What time was Frank's comment there?
7:16. Oh, wait a second. How come it says 17?
Well, it could be the way when I crashed there.
A minute and a half ago or whatever, yeah.
Don says, anyone interested can always call and talk to one of the student advisors at NRVTA. Thank you, Don. Welcome, Uncle Bernie. Much better than what's his name. Oh, John is really taking it tonight, man. He's putting it on the chin. How much does the ridiculous glass patio weigh? That was my comment, Frank, when I looked at it. You got the equivalent of 3, 6, 8-foot patio doors there. They're pretty heavy. So I want to refer to it as a prototype for right now until I can get more information from Coachman. But like I said,
Well,
I
it
don't
looks like a modification of the Cherokee version of that, the 16 ml that they produced out there for the Boston show last year. That was when we first released that.
Yeah.
And that was that little short destination trailer.
Yeah. It says it's a long RV. It's got 38 in the name, so it's got to be around 38 feet.
Yeah, it's a different one, but yeah, same kind of rear end.
Frankly, he's gone. I don't know. Guess he means John.
Yeah. Oh, because I was singing.
Oh.
Yeah, the song.
He was talking to me.
I was talking about you. Yeah.
I'm back. See, Don thinks the same way I do. I was sabotaged by John. Bernie, you still there? I can hear you. Okay. Yeah, we are. So Frank says, stick to the trailer so we'll have John come back. Sing it, Bernie. I don't know if Bernie's got any songs for us tonight.
Well, I sang while you were away.
Well, the reason why I wanted to put that in tonight, typically for many years, I think you'll agree, Bernie, when we decided to go camping, we went camping. Weather wasn't really part of the equation unless somebody said, well, I think it's going to rain on Saturday or whatever. But you certainly didn't sit around the table a couple of days beforehand and say, well, I think there's a tornado coming. And then there's this tropical storm with 100-mile-an-hour winds. And what if we get a campsite with trees on it? But, for our fans here, are you having those kinds of conversations these days? And are campgrounds losing any business if we come up with a really bad, forecast?
I've heard that some campgrounds are, if it's going to be too hot, they don't want to go to the campground and sit in their camper all weekend. But no, you're absolutely right. When we were kids, that wasn't really an issue, right? Bruce Schweger could only get like 24 hours of weather going correctly when I was a kid. And here's the thing,
I didn't watch Bruce Schweigler. I watched Albert. What's his name?
Up in New Hampshire?
Dick Albert.
Yeah.
Good evening. Channel 5.
Yeah, Dick Albert. Okay. So at any rate, what would happen, right? We'd go there and set up, and some families were prepared for just about anything, like ours. We were tenters, and we dug trenches around the tent. We set up tarps, and, everything was kind of really organized, and we were ready. My father was a Navy guy, and, he wanted to make sure that we were prepared. So usually if it started to rain heavy, you'd start to hear screams across the campground of families' tents and pop-ups imploding, and we would be sitting there cool, calm, and collected, just kind of laughing it off. And then the next day we'd wake up and, pick up the pieces and help the neighbors out. But it was, I didn't mind. Dick Albert was before Don Kent. Oh my gosh.
Frank says 1 hour different. Oh, okay. I thought Frank said 1 hour behind, and Joe come up and said 1 hour ahead, and they're both in the same, but they're both in the same campground. So Frank meant that they should go ahead. Jim says it's so hot we close the shop around 2:30 as our guys are exhausted. Well, I'll tell you, down here in Florida, the last 10 days, it has been 95 to 100 degrees, humid, and the heat index has been between 105 and 110. Nobody's going anywhere. And maybe they don't camp too often in Florida. But, the remains of that hurricane that came up through the Gulf of Mexico is due in New England this weekend with some rain. But look at the flooding that we're getting all over the country. That hurricane flooded a lot of parts of Houston. Now, I know 2 years ago we had big floods up in Vermont. Some of that snow melted and came down the rivers and came up over the banks to people that had sites right on the river. But are you guys out there? Are you having that kind of a conversation, or do you, when you get to the campground, is that the first conversation you have with the guy next door that it's going to rain, or you were at a campground 2 weeks ago and got flooded out? Joe says 30 amp service I'm sure he means can't. 30 amp service just can't keep up with all the ACs. How many units are in the campground that you are at up there? Frank is saying 38 is small on a travel trailer. Not not really. I mean, you get into the fifth wheels, you get the 40 and 45. What's the longest travel trailer you sell, Bernie?
They usually run around 37, 38 max as far as a true travel trailer, like the full size reflections or like what Kevin used to sell, the Cougars. They get up to about 37 feet.
On the Cougars?
On the travel trailer versions, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, the fifth wheels are longer.
I don't know what Dante means. No Bernie.
I don't know. Maybe I started
when he said he's gone, he probably lost you on the video feed.
Oh, okay.
Kevin Hookie. Speaking about hockey,
yeah.
Bob and Uncle Bernie, don't you have a golf tournament that you play on Wednesday nights, Hookie, or is it raining out in Indiana, or maybe you got rained out tonight? Because Kevin's in a golf league out there, so we don't get to see him too much on the Wednesday night. Kevin, were you on, and what'd you think of that coachman with the patio doors on the back? Frank.
I love this comment. You mind if I read it? No, we suck it up, not like these snowflakes. I love that, Frank. You got to be a little tough, right? To be an RVer or a camper. You got to be able to get your hands dirty if it gets a little sweat.
Now talking about snowflakes, because I know Frank will give me an honest answer. When you're sitting outside now, Frank, how many wimps have an electric fan sitting next to them so that they can cool themselves off, but they're not worried about the rest of the people around the campfire? Now, see, I know Rhonda roughs it. You get Rhonda in the wintertime, she'll just put a blanket over herself and cook her s'mores. But I'm more interested in who's wimping out around the campfire. And
all right, we got a
Don. Remember Dick Albert, and before Don Kent was that was way back. That was before Bruce Schwegler.
Oh yeah.
Were you around
before that? Don Kent, yeah, we used to watch Don Kent too.
Bruce Schwegler. Kevin Hookie. It looked good. Okay. Yep. Charlie, see what it's saying. Hey, Charlie. Barrel remnants just going through New York, heading your way. Yeah, there was a tornado in Syracuse, between Buffalo and Syracuse, about 15 miles south of Syracuse, on its way through.
And that's what I like about living in New Hampshire. For whatever reason, when the weather gets really bad everywhere else in the country, we'll get a passing shower. So that's all what's going to be left of Burl by the time it hits Nashville, New Hampshire. Yeah.
So
just my wife.
Frank, you're in dangerous territory, Frank. I thought you might say Rhonda, some of your other buddies over there, but I don't know.
Throwing her under the bus.
Calling out his wife with her personal fan. But here's the biggest wimp of all, though. Walter. He did Disney with real feel temps around 110. He's about 3 hours away from me up there. Real feel being the same thing as the heat index, so he was on the same thing. But did you and Donna have your little person? He's got these. I saw him at the Kenny Rogers concert. They got these things they put around their neck, and they're like little air conditioners.
I've seen those.
Buy them on Amazon. So he's sitting there and said, "What the hell's that?" I thought they were speakers. But it's like an air conditioner around your neck. It's a little rope type of thing, and Walter, you must have had them. You were back down in Florida, so you had them when you were up at Camp Margaritaville. And Walter, a bulletin for you, and it shocked the hell out of John and I this week. Dawn Prevey, the general manager at Camp Margaritaville, Auburndale, has resigned, and she'll be out of there in a couple of weeks.
Wow.
Out of me. Hey, guess who showed up?
Yeah, his ears must have been ringing.
Well, I don't know. Let me see if I can find it again, though. The hell did I do?
Yeah, we were just talking about you, Randy. Yeah.
Did you miss the presentation, or you were just sitting back? We said all kinds of nice things about you being in the RV veterans issue of
you're a rock star, man,
and getting much deserved recognition for your years in the industry and what you do at Pete's RV and what you do for Nervder and what you do for customers and what you do for your million view videos on YouTube. So congratulations if you missed it the first time. What does it say? 20, 25, 28? I can't read it. I'll have to get a I don't know where my
25 years in the industry.
Oh, you can read that. Okay, good. All right. All right,
Yeah.
so who do we leave off with? Walter says, no, Donna always does, but I only do it occasionally. That he was talking about the stuff that he puts around his neck. I thought you'd be surprised. Wow is the word that we all use. I woke up one morning, I read her LinkedIn thing, and I said, wow. Then I sent it over to John, and I said, wow, did you know about this? Way to go, Randy Murray. Attaboy, Kevin. Hey, Kevin, you didn't answer my question. Is it raining out there? Why aren't you golfing? Walter owns stock. He must own stock in Disney. He goes 4 days a week, for Christ's sake.
And those little AC things, yeah.
Huh? He
those little
the
neck AC things.
Yeah, him and Donna use the grandkids as an excuse to go back to Disney. See,
but
they've been known to go on their own several times also. So that's why he bought that house in that area, so he can be really close to Disney. He just joined. Thank you, guys. Oh, Don says the same thing. Wow. Mr. Convoy, Ernie, largest fifth wheel done is 53 feet long, pulled by a Freightliner toter home.
Wow.
Total length of 90 feet. The spacecraft does 53s. I think you're right, Don. Jim, I don't think anything goes much longer than that. But who the hell is Ernie?
He must be meaning me.
Huh? Oh, he probably meant Bernie and not Ernie. So
I made a mistake with his name like 2 years ago on a podcast, and he's not letting me forget it.
Doesn't let you live it down.
Yeah.
I'm playing golf this evening, but snuck onto the show, missing you guys. Well, come on up and when are you going to come up and visit your Coleman dealers, or have you already made a run through with what you got up here in New England? We'll do that. Let me do, since we were late on the first commercial.
All right.
Let me make sure that I do the second one with a more realistic time frame.
All right.
Hey, it's Joe from 1019 POR and John, Joe, and Courtney. We're back for another exciting season of Seacoast RV TV. Today's episode is brought to you by the letter W. As in Winnebago. Did you know that Seacoast RV is once again the award winner of the Flying W Award, which recognizes Winnebago dealer locations that deliver the highest service excellence and superior customer satisfaction? Don't mean to brag, but we're kind of a big deal. Speaking of Winnebagos, how about the Winnebago Access? Come on inside and take a look around. Modern and spacious interior, easier camp setup with all the deluxe features and an outstanding value? You get it all with the Winnebago Access. You know, with so many different models to choose from, though, it can get so scary and confusing. I feel like I need some help.
Hi, I'm Amanda. Welcome to Seacoast RV. How can I help you today?
Selection, service center, and a huge parts and accessory department. No wonder Seacoast RV is once again Winnebago's Flying W Award winner, their highest honor. Find the perfect RV or towable for you and your family with one stop, Seacoast RV. Easy to find, Route 1 in Saco.
Seacoast RV. I'm Jackson.
It's a funny commercial.
I always love that one. Let's see what else we got. You got Bernie, you got him playing golf.
Well, you actually had a point about the weather that you were going to make, and I just didn't want you to forget about it, because we had all this nice stuff to talk about how to potentially protect your RV from excessive heat, right?
Yes.
All right.
I hope the folks can read it, but even if you can't read it, Bernie's going to tell you what it says.
All right, but we also want your techniques and your practices that help keep that camper cool. I'm going to start with the second one, park in a shade. If that's not an obvious one, I don't know what is. So whenever possible, park your RV in a shaded area. Of course, you're going to want to do that.
But
And
Bernie,
go ahead.
Bernie, my take on that is if you own an RV, it's 100 degrees out, and you get a choice of a slot without shade or a slot with shade.
Right.
If you don't take the one with the shade, maybe you shouldn't own an RV.
You're absolutely insane. Yeah. And I mean, some people, they stick you out there. If you got a big rig, they stick you out in the field. That is definitely not a preference. I can't park in the shade. My dish will not work. I understand that, buddy. And we keep our shades down and cook outside. Thank you, Dante. And Joe, make sure all blinds and shades are closed. Well, this next one on your list here says ventilate, cross circulate. I always talk to my customers. They're saying, how do you cool these things down? Does the air conditioner really work? I said, yeah, it does. But when your camper has been superheated to about 125, 130 degrees while you're on your way to the campground, when you get there, you want to open your windows, open your vents, turn your vents on, and equalize the inside and outside temperature. That could change by 30 or even 35 degrees from where it was originally. Now you're starting at a much lower point and it cools a lot quicker. So don't burn up your AC, electricity, just and take forever to cool off your camper. Equalize the temperature, and it'll save you hours of cooling. Any comments, Bob?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Use portable fans, just like Walter. No. Supplement your RV air conditioner with portable fans. And I even do that at home because the cold air sinks, right? It settles on the floor. If you were laying on the floor, it'd be really cool. But if you don't mix it up, the whole ambient air will actually separate. And I learned that from working in the kitchen. So they had the air conditioner on, but the hood vent wasn't working. And so the air above my waist was 140 degrees. The air below my waist was 69 degrees. And that's no fun. But you want to mix it up. And just like, go ahead, buddy.
No, interesting about that much of a difference.
Oh, I mean, the restaurant business can get really tough that way. But I remember, like, we would open the door outside in the winter because for some reason my boss didn't buy a new hood vent fan for like 2 years, and it would just be crazy. The temperature would cut right in half, right in the room. So I want to get back to the reflective window covers. And Bob, I'm going to ask you to flip over to the share screen sign. So I've been noticing, can you share the screen? There we go. And just take away that other thingy.
Pull this other one off here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. Hide that one. There it goes.
So lately, we've been getting some trades in with people have these incredible decorative screens, like this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius over here. Like they put these things in the window and you can see out, but it creates a nice UV protection and also a little bit of a decorative look, So, and if you go back into this and then you can have like something a little bit more Art Deco-y, you can take a look at that, which is really, if I can scroll up a little bit, here we go. So you can get these beautiful designs. It depends on your taste, of course, but this one is actually my favorite. We're going to take a look at there. Is this guy right here. Hello, Bobby. What you doing? Yeah, but at any rate, so if you want to get a little creative with your RV, go look out for some of these things. You might even be able to customize them with your grandchildren's pictures or maybe your favorite snacks or whatever. I don't know. But you can take that down when you're ready. But yeah, these decorative window films are actually really handy and they're helpful. They really reduce the UV rays coming in.
Yeah, I just posted the address.
Yeah, wallpops.com. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, where you can check out those. Yeah.
And so what did
okay,
Dawn...
Jim's got a comment there. I can tell you a Flex Armor roof adds more insulation to a roof and makes it easier to cool. And it's white, not black, so that helps out also.
Mm-hmm.
Don
I totally
says,
believe that.
Todd Henson, our lead instructor, always says, your house has wheels, so go someplace cooler. That may not always be the option, Mr. Henson, but it is a good one. Jim says
Oh
we
no, but this case it's not working. These guys in PEI are
run
still
one fan blowing in and the other blowing out to cool down the airstream quickly. With that cross circulation, I like that tip that was on there about the cross circulation, opening up, say, like in the living room, windows on both sides, and then maybe you got a max fan or a high speed fan, but the ceiling fan that will draw that air in and out, and it's got to be, helps on those. So,
No, but you're right though. The last one it talks about insulated covers, so you can get those inserts for the vents.
Right.
So after you've equalized that temperature, stuff those things so you don't get the radiation heating coming down into the camper. Yeah.
And aren't those made of that kind of reflective material that you see people putting on their windshields, Bernie?
Yeah, like astrofoil. So usually one side is like a decorative, fuzzy, furry look, and then the other side is the astrofoil. You want that astrofoil facing up.
Well, I'll tell you, we spent a lot of time on the weather and what have you, and we did promise you that we would also talk, is this the best time to buy an RV?
Oh, yeah.
Give them a couple of hints as to why you think this is the best time.
So, a lot of people are kind of pessimistic about the nature of the economy or, the availability of campsites or whatever it may be. First of all, if anyone gives you an objection about a campsite availability, we can point them to one of our favorite apps, right? Bob, you guys, what do you have?
Harvest Host,
RV Life?
Spot Tonight, RV Life campground reviews. There's plenty of reviews out there.
Right. And they have access to these great campsites on the fly. And if you ever get a chance to check out one of my podcasts, I did one with Terry Broussard, and we did it live. It was 2 days before Memorial Day. And I just said, okay, let's see how good this is. You say you can get a campsite virtually anywhere in the country at the last minute.
And Terry's the president and
CEO
of Spot Tonight. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. He and so I was on his site live, just like we are here today. And I said, okay, let me just check. I typed in Pensacola, Florida, and within 10 seconds, the whole screen went boink, and there was over 100 sites available within 2 days of Memorial Day weekend. And that was just brilliant. And he says, I don't need to talk anymore. That's just keep looking at that picture.
Well, it is a phenomenal software product, and they're growing like crazy. They've got partnerships now with other campgrounds and campground connections and groups of campgrounds. I know Spacious Skies is on there, so you can pick out any of those. But it is just that simple. It sounds kind of crazy, but for people who have been out there for years looking for campgrounds or whatever, I'm sure they've checked it out, and it gets you one on the fly, no question.
Okay. But with that being said, let's talk a little bit about the economy, right? So there's a lot of people are saying, well, the interest rates are high. Maybe I shouldn't be buying. And I want to hear from everybody out there what their thoughts are, if they should be trading in or if they want to trade in, but they're hesitant of doing it. And think of this phrase. You buy the price and you date the rate. So if the rates are higher, when they come down with the no early payment penalty clause, make sure you get that when you buy your RV.
Where is it?
Yeah. You can buy the camper at the discounted price because the rates are higher. The principal buying number is a lot less than it has been for the last 5 years. And you get the no prepayment penalty clause, right? And then with that being said, you can refinance at any time, or if you have a windfall or just sick of making payments, you can pay that camper off at any time, but you're buying it at a much lower price right now than when the rates come back down. the prices will start to go back up. It's just the nature of the ebb and flow of the industry. Right now is actually the best time to buy.
Anybody you talk, and I know we've said it on other shows, but anybody you talk to in this industry will tell you that this is the best time to buy an RV in the last 5 years. If you were out there looking during COVID, we don't have to tell you what happened there with the continuing price escalations, and profit went great up for the dealers, and you paid a lot of money for the RVs. But it's the complete opposite now. If you look at the dealers' lots, they have a lot of inventory. They want to get rid of it. And as Bernie said, the prices have really come down. And they like to quote, on a per month basis when they look at the pricing. But when you see ads, whether it's a Camping World or a Campers Inn or Pete's RV or Seacoast RV, they're down on 35, 40. I saw one of our dealers advertising last weekend at 50% off. And to Bernie's point, so you pay a little bit more on the interest, and a year from now, when things stabilize, the economy gets a little bit better, you refinance it. You bought it at a super price, you refinance it at a lower thing. It's the best way to do it. So with that in mind, how many? No, that's the wrong one I want. That's not it. Who's ready to buy an RV in the next few years? Are you comfortable enough with the economy? And who is anybody out there looking to buy one this summer? Now, Walter is testing motorhomes and is planning to buy probably next spring. He's testing. He rented one just last week and took his grandkids, must have been school vacation, down to Disney. Now, he does have a house in Florida, but on the way down, he wanted it for sleeping quarters and what have you, and it worked out really well. He rented it over at a good friend, Sherry Fuller and Fuller RV. So that's another way to get ready to look at it. But is anybody sitting there and actively going out weekends, or if you're not camping, to buy this summer, or are you lining everything up for the next couple of years? That's one thing we want to know about.
Yeah, it looks like Dante is looking later this year, which,
Yep, he's looking for a new motorhome. Yep.
And, so I think, this is a great time for you to be shopping and kind of getting your ducks in a row. Just don't wait too long, because, Fed just had an announcement yesterday that, if they keep the rates, too high, it inevitably will sooner than later, will start to affect the economy more negatively, right? So it doesn't sound like the Fed wants to maintain those high rates. So don't wait too long, but just be diligent, find the right camper, but the prices are right now. And I know it's coming from the manufacturer too. You can talk to Kevin. I'm surprised on how much the actual retails have dropped as well.
Right. Yeah. Do you watch Senator Kennedy at all when they have some of the public hearings from Louisiana? He's great. He's got these great lines. He's got a great one, no matter who he's interrogating in committee meetings. So they had the Fed chief in there today, and he's asking him a lot of questions. And finally, he just looked at him. He said, in his Louisiana drawl, "Well, when are you going to lower the rates?"
I love it. Just right to it. Like, let's not beat around the bush.
He's fantastic. But that's what everybody's waiting for. But they're going to wait right now till the election. I mean, we are so messed up politically in this country right now. They're all hiding under their desk. They don't know what to do. We don't even know who's going to be running the country tomorrow. So it's just crazy. So we got to get past that come November.
Yeah. Let's wipe away all this continuous vernacular and get to the point. When you going to lower the rates?
I don't want to rush the camping season, but I wouldn't mind if November gets here really quick to do that.
I want to talk to Walter again, because you mentioned that he was renting. But what kind of Class A motorhome are you looking for? Are you looking for a gas, a diesel, a bunkhouse, a crossover?
You mean Dante, don't you?
Walter, you said he was looking soon too.
Well, he rented a Class C. I think if he hasn't rented a B yet, he's going to, and I think he's going to try a Class A. But he had, I don't know. I thought he had at least 8 people in the Class C, maybe a little bit more. But I think he's leaning
Wow.
more towards a C, especially when he realizes with one that he just took how many of his grandkids he can take with him. If he gets a Class B, he's going to leave them all at home.
That's right. Nice knowing you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
All right, here's one.
Class C gas, no
Class
longer than
C
30,
gas,
one slide.
no longer than 30 feet, one slide. Well, that's a pretty popular item, right, Bernie?
Absolutely. That's in that 28 to 30 foot range. You can get into every national park. They're not so cumbersome. You're not going to have that much tail swing. But yeah, I mean, you should see the prices. You're right. You're going to get 30+% off on a lot of those right now. And then Dante's looking for a small diesel.
I mean, those will easily be under $100,000, wouldn't they?
The Class C, it's going to be right teetering on that. So
teetering on that, yeah.
Yeah. So I see the sale prices in the low, like 105 to 109 range, with a lot of that stuff, and they're loaded with features like the ones at a little over 100. You're going to get hydraulic leveling systems, and you're going to get inverter controls and stuff like that. So you have the auto gen start, all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah. And Dante says looking late next year. I think he wants to move up to a diesel. He's got a Class A gas Georgetown.
Yeah. He just mentioned that. He's looking for a diesel 2019 preferable Tiffin. Oh boy, he just missed a dandy of a breeze that we had, a 2021 breeze. Yeehaw. That thing was brilliant. But Dante, you know where to go when you start looking, because I usually can get my fingers on something not too big. Tiffin makes some nice small mid-size Class A's.
Yep. You can do that. However, I was a little disappointed with the monthly figures that came out this week. We reported them. I haven't posted them yet, but we reported them on the Camper Report Show. Year over year, we're down about 16%. But what surprised me is in the month of May, when you would think that was kind of like the last, correct me if I'm wrong, Bernie, because I'm not on your side of the desk, but I always look at May as the last big burst before Memorial Day. People want to buy it and get out on Memorial Day. So you would think that things would go up in May, and they didn't this year. Not only did they not go up, every category of RV went down. I mean, park models were down 50%, 48% in the month of May, which is crazy. Destination camping, vacation camping, that's absurd. But even the camper vans and Class B motorhomes were down in the month of May, and they've been driving the industry, and they've been part of the increases the last few months, where we've gotten up above where we were in 2023. Now, I think you've got your bees over at Kingston for the most part, but
yes,
are you seeing that? Are the bees? I don't want you to give any corporate information away, but do you see a drop in the bees across the board?
So, well, I wanted to talk a little bit about what you were mentioning earlier about the drop, right, and why is that happening? And I think what's happening because a lot of people bought a few years ago, right? And so there's a lot of relatively new RVers out there. So there's the pool of new people that want to RV is a little bit smaller. We are still getting a lot of good foot traffic, but what we're finding is that those interest rates in the higher payment are starting to, they're kind of deflecting some of those people. They're getting a little bit afraid and not realizing if they could make it through a year or so on that payment, they're going to get that payment lowered substantially later on. But back to the motorhomes, Class A's, I guess, took the biggest hit. And we've been doing okay in Merrimack. We're very fortunate. There's a good group of people around there. And I love that Randy kind of called me out on that. I apologize for
I was waiting to see if anybody else was out there.
But, Dante's been also kind of talking to me a little bit here and there in the past. So I just didn't mean to do that. But, yeah, I love you, Randy. Yeah. But what I'm saying, as far as the motorhomes, it is affecting the whole industry. And here's the thing: there's people either with money or people that want to borrow money. So the people that have the money don't want to borrow the money. They rather just pay for it because they know the price is really good right now, right? They just want to let's slam down some cash and get our dream camper, and we just save 50 grand. And then we have the other folks that are trying to make a budget. And the B van people, it's a tougher game, right? It's usually a slightly younger demographic. It's starting to trickle up into, the 50-year-old range, but mostly they're 28 to 45. Okay. And those people are probably struggling the most right now with the way rates are and their credit card bills and things like that. So
for the people who are out there camping, I would be curious to hear how they're finding it in terms of availability and making reservations. And let me tell you why. I got I'd call it a disturbing email today from the Old Orchard Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
And they posted something on their Facebook page and literally said these hotels and motels have availability in July. And there was 25 hotels and motels. Now, typically, Old Orchard, once July 1st comes, you don't get anything, or Memorial Day, you don't get anything till Labor Day. They're all packed. All you see is no vacancy signs. But there was 25 hotels. So if we have a correlation of that to the campgrounds, are we seeing a significant decrease and easy availability all around? Is anybody seeing that if you're going out there week to week on that? So I think that's something that, for those who are going camping this year, it doesn't look like it's going to be a problem trying to get a site. And I've even seen like Normandy Farms will post that they've got availability on stuff. They had a couple of glamping sites that are available in July that just became available. So people may be canceling them. I don't want to scare the masses, but that's not something that we expected this year. We thought the year would kind of ride out, and they're going to stabilize. Most dealers will probably do about as much as they did last year. They were hoping for a little bit of an uptick, but I think we'll see that in 25. If there's a change in the administration in November, we ought to hit the road running in January. Have spectacular.
A lot of it is confidence, right? It's consumer confidence, but also with the inflation that we've been going through, people's disposable income is being kind of pulled down. So that money that, I'm going to go spend a weekend at Old Orchard Beach, they might have to say, well, I'm only going to do that once instead of 3 times this year. So but a lot of it's confidence in the consumer. And once they get past the fear of it, it actually helps reaccelerate the economy.
Well, to your point earlier, Bernie, about the manufacturer's pricing on RVs coming down significantly, I would suspect that in many of these campgrounds that, much like in COVID, they also raised a lot of their prices. I mean, a lot of people were paying well over $100 a night for a campground. I would suspect that some of these campgrounds now are looking at their books and saying, maybe we should take that back down to $75 a night or something.
You got to get some bodies back in here. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what Walter, my resident engineer, says here. I did look online for campgrounds Friday, July 6th, the last weekend. Everybody we looked at had available sites this past weekend. See that?
Wow.
Exactly. Thank you for the confirmation, Walter.
That's a good point.
We picked Pedro Campground south of the border for price only about half full. I don't want to sound like I'm old, but I first went to south of the border in 1968. So that's like 56 years ago. That was the first time I found old Pedro posted on every billboard going down 95. But they got a camp. And at that point, they didn't have a campground at south of the border. And now there's I had sent Walter a note say stop at Buc-ee's for breakfast, but he was already past Buc-ee's. There's a Buc-ee's not far from south of the border down there.
Oh, yeah.
Don Hawes says, another awesome show, guys. Heading over to watch RV Unplugged. See you next week. Okay, Don. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us.
We're almost at the end of a string there. Any closing comments, Bernie? Thank you for filling in for Mr. DiPietro this week.
Yeah, just do the math, right? And Walter would attest to this. He's an engineer, and he does math all day long. Every time we ask him to do math, he does math.
That's right.
So if you buy something at a lower principal price and you have a higher interest rate now, when that interest rate comes down and you refinance, you inevitably are going to pay a whole lot less for that camper in the life of that loan.
The only thing I would ask is that you buy it at a nerved dealer.
There you go.
Reward the guys, especially Seacoast, with the
even the one that Randy works at.
And Pizza RV.
Even the one that Randy works at, yeah.
Not quite. All right, we will catch up. If you guys got any topics for next week, we don't put a lot of time into getting ready for these things. We like them unscripted. We like how they go, and we certainly like your comments for us. So we will do that, and we'll see you next week and see you down the road. Bernie, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Hey, it's Joe from 1019 POR and John, Joe, and Courtney. We're back for another exciting season of Seacoast RV TV. Today's episode is brought to you by the letter W. As in Winnebago. Did you know that Seacoast RV is once again the award winner of the Flying W Award, which recognizes Winnebago dealer locations that deliver the highest service excellence and superior customer satisfaction? Don't mean to brag, but we're kind of a big deal. Speaking of Winnebagos, how about the Winnebago Access? Come on inside and take a look around. Modern and spacious interior, easier camp setup with all the deluxe features and an outstanding value? You get it all with the Winnebago Access. With so many different models to choose from, though, it can get so scary and confusing. I feel like I need some help.
Hi, I'm Amanda. Welcome to Seacoast RV. How can I help you today?
Selection, service center, and a huge parts and accessory department. No wonder Seacoast RV is once again Winnebago's Flying W Award winner, their highest honor. Find the perfect RV or towable for you and your family with one stop, Seacoast RV. Easy to find, Route 1 in Saco.
This edition of RVing in New England was a presentation of the New England RV Dealers Association. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.